Thank you so much for warm introduction. So guys, can we have some energy? Yeah. So let me again introduce myself. I imagine what's my age. Can someone guess my age? Yeah. Yeah, I guess this guy just disclosed it. Yeah. So I'm 15 at the moment. I've been building startup from last 4 years. I also hold a world record for typing A to Z. Along with that, I create content. I educate people around entrepreneurship on Instagram, where we have almost 100K followers, and we have been opening startup schools all across Maharashtra. So um, today's topic is the case of apprenticeship in the AI era. How many of you people probably have, like seen, like guess what is this? Like just start with like what is this? Can you guys guess what is this exactly? It's just a normal sheet of paper where you're saying circles. What if I would say it's your life? What if I would say it's your life? Can you guys imagine it's your life? This is basically how it's a life of an 18-year-old student. Each row represents almost 36 months. It is your life and under the one page, one sheet. And we as a human, we spend every day, I guess like 7-8 hours sleeping. We spend our 360 months of our life sleeping every day, waking up. Then we spend almost 126 months going to a school, doing some work. We spend almost 126 months over that. Then we spend 18 months in our life driving a vehicle, driving every day, traveling here and there. Then we probably spend 37 months on groom and hygiene. We spend 36 months on cooking and eating. And after this much of life, imagine this is your life, and you have almost spent more than half of this onto just doing the essentials things that are needed in the life. But how about now you have just got 334 months as a free time. And the worst part here is every average Indian student is spending almost 6 hours of his. I have interacted with a lot of students, and what I've got to know that is every average Indian student is spending almost 6 hours working on his mobile, working on his computer, probably for their work, probably scrolling reels, and that is equal to almost 312 months. Can you guys imagine? So over the entire 90 years, we are spending almost 312 months, and then we have left up with like, I guess this is 24 months or something. So one of the major thing that I'm trying to say here is we as student are spending so much of time, every day. I probably are left up with just 334 months, which is probably very less, right? And we are spending that on our mobile phones, which is not going to actually contribute anything, or probably it would. So now one of the major thing is I want to talk about. I talk about India's education, how our education can be more practical. Imagine you are in a new city. Let's say you are in a new city. It's totally new, and you have a map that is probably 10 or 20 years back the city. मतलब 20 साल पहले का map है. You have a 20 years old map. And you are in a city. Can you guys find path? Can you guys find a route into with that particular map? Can you? You cannot. But this is what millions of students or thousands of students are doing every day, right? Every student is going to school, and the map that they have is probably 6 years back, and they are in a new city, they are in a new area, they are in a new competitive market. You can see AI coming up, AI taking jobs of lakhs of people. Not just AI, there are a lot of things coming up, right? But we as an Indian student, we don't have anything, right? So this is what millions of students have been facing their entire life onto, just having that old map in the new world. And one of the important thing here is key. Let's look at the history of Indian education. So how many of you people are aware about NEP? Are you guys aware about NEP? What NEP is? Can somebody tell what is exactly it is? National Education Policy, right? So let's have a look at India's national education policy. We got independence in which year, by the way? 1947, right? We got independence in 1947. After independence, probably we might have we got independence in 1947, and our first education policy that was lastly set up was set up in 1968. Then the second education policy that was set up in 1972, our third education policy that was set up in 1986, and after 1986, our new education policy that was set up in 2020. What's the gap? Imagine the gap. It's almost 34 years. And I'm not actually talking about so big educational problem. I'm talking about the fundamental problem. We are living in 2026 today, right? We are living in 2026, and our books. Let's suppose any student, you are pursuing a BTech, BCom, or anything. You are going in a college. You are pursuing. Let's suppose I'm taking admission for BTech. Probably I'm learning my syllabus is 6 years back, because our education policy that was lastly set up was in 2020, right? That was all upon NEP 2020. So how can a student actually survive into such a competitive era where our schools and colleges are actually preparing us 6 years back, right? Technology has started evolving after 2020, right? And we are still learning, our books are still updated in 2020, like before 2020. So that is the biggest problem. Now, 5 years back, this is how our brain, we had this particular, thing into our mind कि MBA करना है, engineering करना है, doctor बनना है. यही अभी भी है. मतलब this is not something 5 years back as well. This is very casual societal path. But, and now probably this is the brain of a particular student who has come from so much of opportunities that he has AI, content creation, and all those things in mind. But now coming to the main point, that is, if career has been evolving, why our education is still the same? Why our education is still that boring? We are learning in classrooms where there's this teacher coming up, सिखा के चले के जा रहे हैं. Why it is still the same? Why there's nothing revolutionizing? There's nothing practical in education, right? Do you guys think our education should be more practical? It has to be, right? So we as Indian, we have came from, we had Gurukul systems where, let's suppose you want to learn photosynthesis or any of the thing. We used to understand how we used to bow seed. We used to observe that seed for next 12 months. And that is how we used to understand कि यार ये पौधा बड़ा कैसे हुआ, right? But nowadays, that's fine, gets documented into textbooks. That's totally fine. And that is important as well. But some of the factors that still needs the importance in practical area. So today, what we are gonna do? So we already had the look towards this, that we got the education policy was set up in 1968, then 86, 1992, and 2020. So one of the biggest problem here is we are not that practical. But how about our education should be in the future? How exactly it should be? Till the time मैंने ये बताया कि what are the problems, I've told these are the problems. Thousands of people, you are aware. Probably आप लोगों ने ना वो I forgot to show that thing. You guys might have seen this particular ये किस मूवी का सीन है, can somebody there? 3 Idiots, right? जहाँ पे this Rancho once said कि काबिल बनो, chase excellence, then success तुम्हारे पीछे आएगी, right? I guess everyone has watched it, right? Probably I don't watch movies, but I am aware about the scene. But everyone has watched that scene. Everyone has laughed, everyone has enjoyed that scene. But how many of you people actually thought that I'll chase excellence? You have? Kudos. But how many of you people, so we have almost, I guess, 20-30 people sitting. Out of 30, we can just get one student or one person who has actually tried that way. But the movie is watched by millions of people, right? So now let's come back to the point where how the future learning should look like. So what we are going to do, let me just get a clear idea about how many of you people are building something of your own, building a startup. How many of you people are kuch khud ka bana rahe, building a startup, you have that particular thing. 1, 2, clearly, let me just get. We have 5 people, okay. And how many of you people are college and just, thinking about starting or, just confused? 1, 2, okay, awesome. I mean, that's pretty less. So everyone has, I guess, figured it out then. Okay, so now coming to the main thing, that today what we are gonna do is, I don't want this session to go, I'm talking something from PDF and then I'm showing something. So one of the main things that what we are gonna do today is, we'll experience how future learning should look like. So now for next 10 minutes, we have almost 10 minutes left. For next 10 minutes, let's everyone just be students, right? There are a lot of problems in education, I've told. There are a lot of problems in societies. We as citizens of India, we have thousands of problems. Imagine this particular बूथ से या फिर पर्टिकुलर एरिया से बाहर निकलने के बाद आपको 100 प्रॉब्लम्स मिल जाएंगे. प्रॉब्लम माइट बी वेटिंग 10 minutes बुकिंग अ कैब, यू विल नॉट गेट इट. यू माइट बी यहाँ पे बाहर निकलने के बाद आप लोग सोचोगे यार कितना गर्म हो रहा है. द थाउजेंड्स ऑफ प्रॉब्लम लाइक climate conditions and whatnot. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna build something which would actually solve this problem. So there are 5 people sitting in the room who wants to build their own something of their own. They wanna build their startup. They wanna do something of their own. So we are gonna understand a problem. We are gonna understand one problem. We are gonna validate this problem in under 10 minutes, and we are gonna build a product that can actually solve a problem. So startup कैसे start होता है? What is the first step while starting a startup? What's the first step? Yeah? Idea, but how? Idea is something that's, I can get any idea. I can get any idea. Finding the problems, exactly. We need to understand problems. So for next 2 minutes, like just 30 seconds, let's do one thing. We guys should understand a problem. You guys have to think of any problem that you're getting. Tell me. And then I'll go, everyone has mobiles, right? You have to scan a QR code. And you have to just vote the problem that you people are facing. I mean, you think that should be something to be solved for. But right now, let's just make problems that are around education. That are, let's suppose students are not confident, something kind of like that. Or academic concepts, it could be anything. So yeah, think something and come up with the problem statements. Yeah. Students don't have focus. And why it is so? Yeah. That is not, no, yeah. Yeah. So one of the major reason, what do you think one of the biggest reason is for the distraction?
Maybe
Yeah.
some level of gaming or
Social media.
different pedagogies
Yeah.
to make it more engaging for them to be able to learn effectively.
Yeah. So the core problem is student don't have focus is this, and because they're distracted into, let's suppose, let's just one condition, let's just take one condition, that is social media and the gaming things that they are. Okay. That's actually a wonderful problem. We need a second problem. Yeah. You can.
So I believe that there is no analysis. Like people are rote learning or they are learning something, they do not know where they lack. So sometimes they, let's say a chapter has ABC 3 concepts,
Yeah.
and when a person gives tests, his A and C might be good, but B is failing. So that analysis that B is failing, that is missing. So basically an analysis of what he is studying. That
Yeah. So can we just come more bottom? Like the core problem, we can take it as again the same, that there has to be something real life thing, that anything that they are learning. Okay, I guess this is, yeah. Okay, we have got second problem. We need one more. We need one more. Just a minute, yeah. Yes.
As an engineering student, right now I feel like there's 1,000 things to learn, and earlier we used to rely on textbooks, but now there's no path to learn a given thing. Like I'm constantly just asking Claude or GPT कि ये कैसे सीखूँ मैं, ये कैसे सीखूँ, teach it to me in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, stuff like that, and it gets very scattered, and there's no
Yeah.
sort of fixed path like how we have for MBA engineering. So if there's a solution where we can come up with pathways for students and that aren't exactly textbooks but combine holistic learning with
Basically, the app that would show career options that are available.
yeah, and also how to go about them, because there's, like you said, there's so many new career options, right? Like you just pointed out, so how to follow that path.
Awesome. Like that's something that's interesting that we can. So we have got actually 3 questions, and that are actually a major problems around education today. So what we can do, I'll just list down the 3 problems, and we have just 5 minutes left. Let's just try building it. Hello. Yeah. So let me just do it. Just a minute. Yeah, guys, come on. What was the first problem? Focus. Yeah. The first problem was lack of focus between students. Lack of focus between students. Ignore my typing. Second, what was the second? Real life applications. Yeah, real life applications. Real life applications. And the third was career trajectory or career roadmap. Yeah, career roadmap we can call it as a. Okay. So what you can do is just vote for the problem. Vote for the problem which are basically you think should be solved for. I'll just share. Where is it? Yeah, scan this. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a mentee, so you can just scan and vote for the problem that you think should be solved. So we have got a problem. Let's say we have got 3 problems, but we need to validate that as well, right? It's taking different kind of questions. Just a minute. So I think probably try this. Yeah. Yes, is it? Okay, I guess we have got, yeah. So we have got 7 people who think lack of focus is one of the biggest problem between students. We have got 12 people who says real life application is one of the most important thing. And 7 again the career roadmap. So that's, let's eliminate both of the points. Let's just go for real life application. So I guess everyone has brain over here, right? So we are gonna use 1% of our brain, but before using, and then we are gonna do everything with AI. So what I'm trying to say, I'll just break it down. But right now, just think about it. What can be the solution that would particularly we can build something right now. Let's suppose with vibe coding or anything, and we can actually solve the problem of real life application. Yes, you think about it, and just get back to me. 3 minutes remaining. I'll use ChatGPT. I don't have. I'm into a session right now where a lot of people are, where a lot of students are facing problem with real life application, and we want something that to be developed that can actually solve, this particular problem. As students can actually get real life understanding of what he or she should do onto his career trajectory or anything that they're doing. Understanding the app should be gamified. It should be something very engaging and totally focused on what is happening in India. So give me a total, prompt telling the AI model develop it. So I have came to, everyone is aware about ChatGPT, right? So I've came to ChatGPT. I've just told it that I'm I'm in a session right now. A lot of people are facing problems with practical thing. So till then, any ideas that have came into your mind? Any solution that can be developed? Yes? No? Okay, so I guess we have got AI did it. So it has given an understanding that the platform should help students discover real world career paths and a platform. So these are the core features that we can start working upon. A platform that will help students discover real world career paths. Then it would, just a minute. So it would also, what was that? Understand what different professions actually look like. As I told, there's just 3 things that we are aware about. Build practical skills. So how can we actually get practical skills? It would give you a real life case studies कि आज जाके देखो ये काम करना है. So particular everyday strict kind of thing that it should give a student that particular task for a day to complete. That should be something they should do in real life. Then they have to stimulate real life decision making. They have to understand modern AI or opposite, like what is something happening in AI. Because I've got a certain good information from AI. Let me just copy this. So how many of you people have actually ever tried vibe coding, or you are aware about vibe coding? A lot of you people would have. Yeah. So we're going to actually do the same. But what? So we have generated a prompt from ChatGPT just to structure it more. And now we'll come to AI Studio. So there are a lot of vibe coding platforms that you guys might be aware about. This something that is very flashy these days. That's emergent and all this that they have spent their huge money on marketing. But yeah, we have Google AI Studio. How many of you people are aware about Google AI Studio? A lot of you. Yeah. So we'll just come here. We'll just paste the prompt and let's see how it is. So I was in a college certain days back, and I was asking students how many of you people are aware of Google AI Studio. There was nothing aware about. There was no one aware about what is happening. So we as a student are probably so much, disconnected from what is happening in real world, and probably that has become more uh, accessible still with the technology, but it's still the same in certain part of the countries, certain part of the state. So I don't know how much time it would take, but let's just, I guess it would done in 2 to 3 minutes. We have time, so we can continue.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So Google AI Studio, for example, is very expensive for engineering college students, and so is Claude, and so is GPT. So whenever we do hackathons and stuff like that, we want to vibe code something, we really struggle paying for the tokens, because let's say students want to constantly be building. When you add up, like let's say you use GPT, you use Google AI. Google AI is very expensive. I'm not sure how much exactly your plan costs.
Yeah.
But GPT as well is expensive. So what solution would you give to students who want to build, but then they're not sure which of these tools would help them? So how do we pick which one to invest in, and which one to actually use?
So talking about the question that you asked, how it's so expensive and what can be the thing. So I'll tell you one of the things that I tried. So back last year, we guys started working on to a very spontaneous idea. We were there in one of the event, and those guys built something. They were pitching onto the stage. Those guys built something, an AI powered recruiter which would actually do screening and all. So we were just working on to, can there be anything such kind of AI powered for new age entrepreneurs or something that they can start developing with. So that time we just came up with a normal idea of listing events and all. We created a platform where there would be live streaming and everything would be done. And it's still live. We didn't market it, but it's just live. We have got an organic traffic of like 15,000 users, and I guess we did it totally for free of cost. We didn't spend any rupees, just domain ko chhod ke, but we actually scaled it. So there are, I guess Claude has good security. AI Studio doesn't. So I'm speaking on a stage. I'm not sure, but what you can do is you can just copy the collaborator link. You can just try with different Gmails, the same project, and you can still do it. And because I don't think Google AI Studio is that expensive, it's pay as you go, right? So you get plenty of free tokens to work upon. It's not that thing. So yeah, that is still then until it's generating. Can we get any more questions? Yes.
I think that when you
Yeah.
talked about problems right now, like, so I come from public policy, so I have a completely different lens. I used to be an engineer, so now
Wow.
coming back, when you said about the fundamental problems of India, let's say that not everything is platform led and digital led and
Yeah.
something like that, right? So let's take the first problem that you took. It's so hot outside.
Yeah.
And coming back to like using AI for education, I think that is one of the biggest advantages that we have
Yeah.
in the modern day. So when you said that, can you solve something with a platform or a product, I think the first thing for education is asking the right questions. So you'll see that if you break down everything, it comes back to like human systems like sociology, economics, physics, chemistry, biology, and I think that is a better pathway of using AI and like trying to get better education. And this is again like someone who's trying to like completely switch fields, so I'm relying a lot on AI to like build like my fundamentals on thermodynamics,
Yeah.
physics, and these are things I never learned in engineering, because again we know how old and outdated the system is.
Exactly.
It's just that like a little bit of advice, that instead of thinking of first what to build and that everything's a product,
Yeah.
a lot of the models, as you said, no product can help us solve the heat that we're seeing in
Yeah.
India, except maybe like a new AC. But then 1 billion people right now are facing 40-degree heat. Technology is not the answer of all of it. A platform is not the answer.
Yeah.
Data is not the
Exactly.
answer.
Exactly. Yeah.
So just bringing that up, and I think and I'm I'm in an AI forum, but I don't like AI, but education is one of the best use cases of AI.
Yeah, so right now, what I told is basically what we can actually do right now that can actually do something in under like 5 or 10 minutes. So that was the main genre. That was the thing. Anything more? Yep. It's problem of Google, but that is how you can. Okay, we can get one question.
Just,
Yeah.
just wanted to add that you can student ask the question how they can actually subsidize. So you can actually take a hybrid approach. Like you can run open source. Gemma4 is a good model that you can run on
Yeah.
your laptop and use it for coding, and use ChatGPT or Claude for your architectural planning. So
Yeah.
take that architectural plan and then use local model to
Yeah.
generate code. So that's the cheapest way to go.
That can be
Go hybrid.
yeah. That can be. I mean, but Claude has so much of pricing things to use Claude to the certain instinct. And talking about another part though, so if you talk about AI Studio or any of the AI vibe coding platform, they're exactly like a IDE and something that automated almost 70% of the thing that is about front end. So yeah, I guess we have less to the time. If you guys can just catch up out there. Thank you.